not financial advice. This is my personal read on the charts. I'm on signal to buy or sell. Hey everyone, welcome to Leverage Life. This is how I look at the charts. A new series where I break down my weekly view of the market and how I set up that chart. First and foremost, I start with the SPY daily chart. I like to add my favorite indicators, Bollinger Bands. That's a simple moving average. And let me set that to the 200-day. So set that up green. I also like to add one more for shorter term trades. It is a 5-day. In general, I like to put that one pink. And that gives me high-level look of how I look at the daily chart. So essentially, we are trapped in the middle of a range. So probably a rejection off sort of the 20-day here and the 5-day purling down. And with the Qs being weak, the likelihood of us pushing down towards the Bollinger Band. Lower end is definitely a possibility. Now moving on, I like to also add the high level sort of areas of interest here, kind of create like these sort of buy areas and buy zones. And if you look right now, based on the price and a year, barely down 2%. So as we continue our weekly sort of review, now we'll move over to the triple Qs. And essentially I use the exact same indicators. As you can see here, we bounced off a level that we've bounced off a few times where we had gap up in early May, and then we retested back in early June, and now we're testing back here in mid-July. And as we can see, if we look at the price range, since the high of sight in June down into kind of where we bounced on Friday, we're down about 6.7 to 2.8%. So typically this is an area of interest where I would consider adding just some long positions, either by buying stock and cash or swing trades and calls or swing trades with credit spreads, and or even easier than doing any auctions, which we could review at a different date as the series evolves, is use the key triple Qs, which is a leveraged version of the NASDAQ triple Q. Again, this gives you another indication of where it could potentially have a bounce. And if we look at the same June 30th, you can see that because this is the leveraged ETF, it's down 3 times as much as the Qs. And that's why these leveraged ETFs like this, I typically earn in news during sort of more volatility. Use the T-triple-Q more on like a larger pullback on the overall NASDAQ, like something that we would have seen, kind of back here. And you had back in March, after we had an extended period of downside from, like, say, October, then we had January, and they kind of dove down at that point. You can use it for short-term bounce because typically this would like to go and retest the 5 or even the 20-day. But with the summer volume right now, maybe difficult. I wouldn't be surprised just to see us kind of chop back up to the middle of the range. But it's kind of the date assumption. So looking back at that, that's kind of how I look at the charts on a kind of weekly basis. Again, Not financial advice, simply kind of my journey around lifting the charts. Wanted to add this kind of a series of how I review charts. To give a little bit more context on kind of how I come up with you know, my ideas for the week, etc. Follow along. Again, thanks for watching and appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next video.